Hey guys, Monday morning update, and I have some English baked beans here because all the drama this Monday, what date is it? March 8th, is about the interview, the Oprah Winfrey interview with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. I think he's still a prince, right? And it was very interesting. I was excited to see it. My wife wasn't. It sort of, I guess she doesn't care, but for me, it sort of confirms kind of what everyone knows already. My parents lived in London. I lived in London briefly. I went to summer camps periodically over the summers when I was a kid in London. So I kind of grew up in that culture of a monarchy that, as a culture over there, everyone respects, everyone kind of looks to for like an ideal of or standard of what you want to achieve for yourself. These people are wealthy, they have money, they have power, but more importantly, they're a family, they're a unit. So it's not like an individual that's rich, it's a family that's wealthy, and they have history and heritage and tradition and all that fancy smanchy stuff that would fill out any Disney movie very well. But the reality of it is very dark and very disturbing, and I kind of felt bad for more importantly Meghan and the kids, because no one really has to go through that. As a black person myself, I've been in interracial relationships, a lot of interracial relationships, only because of where I went to school, where I grew up. It was like very diverse, very mixed. My first interracial relationship was probably when I was like 12 years old at summer camp. I fell in love with a French girl, Chantal, and we we smooched behind the slides or something like that, wherever the camp was in England, and that was in London, that camp. And so I've been in interracial relationships where, like, when you're younger, you don't really care about the what comes after. You meet the person, whatever. But when you get older, you kind of think about, oh yeah, if I have kids with this person, what's that gonna look like? What's her family's dynamics? In college, I did it out of my race several times. The scariest I think I've ever dated out of my race was a Croatian girl, and the school I went to, the college I went to, was very international, so we had lots of international students rolling through there. And not that I was in some sort of committee, it just so happens that I don't know how I ended up meeting all these people, but Croatian, and she was telling me all about. And the thing was too, we were planning, she was going back to Croatia for spring break, I think, or summer break, and I wanted to go back with her. At that time I had money saved up. I was like, yeah, let's travel for maybe a week or two and then come back and work. And she was like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to come back to Croatia or back to her hometown. She wasn't from the touristy part. She's from a place called Split. I guess what would be a suburb of Split. And she was like, yeah, you can't come home with me. I love you and all, but our relationship ends when I get in that plane and go back home, and probably starts again when I come back. She's like, you cannot come home with me. It was almost like you come home, you get killed, kind of a thing. And that kind of made me think like, oh yeah, that's kind of interesting. And in college I didn't think about it. I just was like, where's the next girl gonna come from? You move on. And looking at this interview, all my suspicion, not suspicions, but you know this already. You know that family, an old traditionally white family in the UK. It could be any place in the world. That's the thing that's sad about this. You could blame the monarchy, blame the firm or the institutions in that country, but it's all over the place. It's interracial relationships in this country, in Canada, and in all parts of the world. People go through this. The beauty of it, the best thing I've heard said was if Harry could leave his wealthy family and billions of dollars or millions of dollars and this, cushioned lifestyle for someone he loves who's not, and that's the thing with Meghan, like, she's the least black woman you could marry interracially. I swear to God, you look at this interview, like, if you didn't know she was black and she was like maybe in a lineup of like Italian girls or Spanish girls, you would not know she's half African American, half Irish or white. You would not know that. So for them to look at her, like, I mean, you have to be super racist to look at Meghan Markle and see like a Leslie Jones or a Grace Jones or someone like that. You know, this is a weird. Like, how racist do you have to be to look at a Meghan Markle? Fair skin, straight nose, thin lips, straight hair, freckles even. Like, come on. And to see like what color is your baby's gonna be? Is your baby's gonna be like Wesley Snipes? You know, like what the hell? Like, that's supremely like, that's racism on another level, like a hilarious level, because it's just ridiculous. It's like, it's known that people are, adults are so myopic and so limited in like the way they see other people, like, and that's the thing too. That speaks volume about how racism work. There's a famous meme on the internet where I remember my teacher friends would do this, like how I see myself working and how other, you know, how my parents see me working with their kids and how my kids see me working, how, you know, whatever. It's just like how all the perspective of some one mundane task or one mundane object, all the perspective surrounding that is completely different. And it was a funny meme at the time. And, you know, it was like professions that did this, like policemen did that. Police officers did that. Doctors did. You know, it's just funny meme, but that's exactly, it suits this situation. And back to what I'm saying. If Harry could leave his family for someone that he loves, a lot of these interracial relationships, you definitely can leave your Trump-supporting racist family for someone that you love, you know? So, but yeah, so if they look at Meghan and see like Leslie Jones is a comedian from Saturday Night Live, she's the opposite. If you put black women in a spectrum, like Leslie Jones, loud, abrasive, I know she's not ghetto, I know she's very educated, from Colorado actually. She grew up in all white suburbs, Leslie Jones. So her characters that she plays are ghetto black women, American women, right? Loud, like, yeah, you know, and Meghan Markle is the opposite side of that spectrum. But if you could look at a spectrum of like just women and just see, like, look at Meghan Markle and see like Leslie Jones, something's more wrong with you than anyone else. Like, and even if that was me, that I have my biases, right? I have my racism moments. I have racist moments myself. As a black guy, I'm racist against all of black. Chris Rock said it best. The most racist people in America are black people, because we're racist against white people and racist against all the black people. Yes, I am racist against, or I have my moments when I encounter, when I you know, look at other black ghetto people in public and how they act and how they carry themselves, and I'm very biased, and I'm like, oh yeah, like what the hell's wrong with them? Like, that's silly. I'm not gonna deal with that person simply because of the way they're acting. Whether white or black, is just that ghetto mentality I don't deal with. I don't engage that. So I do have my moments, and I know I'm not right for that. I know I'm wrong in some regard, in some spectrum of when you look at this. I'm not right, and that's fine with me. I sleep at night, but you know, I wish it would change. You know, it's not like I don't look at it as the end all be all to the way society should be. But when you look at the way these people look at Meghan Markle, who's the nicest, I don't know her personally, but I mean, I look at that interview. I mean, I can't imagine anyone in that family or that firm dealing with her deeper than, you know, we see her on TV, right? And I know one of the pundits over there, not Piers Morgan, but a woman came on and said, oh, well, why didn't Oprah ask her about her relationship with her dad and her, you know, why did only one person from her family member came to that wedding? Only her mom showed up at the royal wedding for her and Harry. Why did only one mother come to, why only her mother came? Where's her siblings? Where's her cousins? I don't know, Meghan, but I know I have a black family myself. I had a black wedding myself, and my cousins came to my wedding. My uncles, my aunties came to my wedding. If I was marrying a princess in England, that my guest list would be extremely limited to like my mom, my dad, my brother, maybe. You know, it won't be cousins and extended family. That doesn't really happen. I don't know Meghan. Like I said, I don't know her mom's family, or I don't even know her dad's family, but And her dad's Irish, and the British people don't even like Irish people. So could you imagine a group of Irish people and a group of African Americans from Cali, from wherever, I think Oakland, showing up to this wedding? Yeah, they'll be complaining about all the things. That's the thing too. Like you're only as good as what you give people to complain about yourself. To people that hate you already, right? If you hate me, right, you hate Meghan, you're gonna complain about her ghetto family coming up to this royal wedding. You know, or you're gonna hate her for, oh, why did she only invite her mom to this wedding? What's wrong? What's going on there? Why don't Oprah ask her questions about that? You know, so you hate her. You're gonna look for something wrong with that. And I think Meghan carried herself well. I'm glad they got out of it. I've seen situations like that where you're so committed to your family. And I dated a girl like that who was, her family was her dad was a diplomat, consul general of another foreign country, and they're, you know, Muslim, white, and she said, yeah, she has to travel with her dad. They're institutionalized in this monarchy from that country, and they have to do certain things. She can't do this, she can't do that, and she had a lot of mental issues at the time, and she was seeing a psychiatrist. And this thing, I looked at her, I'm like, you're white, you're wealthy, you could go anywhere. You have a bank account bigger than most Americans earn a year. You have everything you ever wanted as a kid growing up, right? Your dad seems cool. He accepted me as your boyfriend, so I know he's not that bad, you know. So, but she was depressed because she was stuck in this institution that she had to do this, had to be away, and I saw that depression in her, and I saw that angst, even though she was anything she wanted. You know, you want a Ferrari? Here's a Ferrari. You want to go to Dubai for 2 weeks? Go to Dubai for 2 weeks. You know, she had everything that I would want, that most Americans would want, but she was still depressed because something was missing. I still to this day, I don't know what, but I know she's a great person. She's moved on, and she's actually got out of that. She lives in the suburbs in America now with her husband and a couple of kids, and she's a housewife. That's all she is. I mean, she's happy doing that, happy being pulled out of that political monarchy institution, and I've seen that, and I know what that's like. So when Meghan and Harry, you know, discuss this, I kind of see that. Not that we should all feel sorry for them. I mean, 500,000 Americans died last year, and that should be more important than this. It is more important than this, but I'm glad that stuff like this is coming out now, because it's going to lead off to my next video, which is about cancel culture. And what exactly is cancel culture? Because now the question is that I woke up in the BBC. Now they're saying, is the royal monarchy going to be cancelled? They did Dr. Seuss, a bunch of things last year. But is this moving forward, this progression of society as we know it, right? 20 years ago, I had a Walkman, right? Now I have all the music on my iPhone, my phone, right? 40 years ago, to listen to music, you had to be inside your house in a big thing. Now we listen to music on our phones. So we're moving ahead into new territory. Should we bring baggage from history with us, or should we leave it behind? Should we filter shit going forward, right? Should we filter all the bad things from yesterday going into tomorrow, right? And I think I'm just gonna put that in the next video when I talk about cancel culture. But I'm glad that happened. I don't think it's, like I said, 500,000 people died of coronavirus in America, and that's more serious. And what's going on in terms of that is more serious. And the George Floyd jury selection is today, and that's super serious. So the royal interview is not top of the list stuff, but I think it's very important for for tomorrow. It's important for going forward. And I'm gonna get right into the next video. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.